Are you considering about getting a Dexa scan, a body scan, or any other type of scan that might provide you information on how you can go about adjusting your nutrition or seeing your gains or your losses? Well, guess what? I did, and I'm going to share my information with you, and we're actually going to sit down with the doctor who did my Dexa scan and reveal all of my information to you all coming up. So what's going on? It's your dude, That Guy Health, AMBF Men's Physique Pro, Health Up Nutrition sponsored athlete. And do not forget, I have the website for anybody that's looking for online coaching, personal training. I also have the fitness app available. It allows you all to go ahead and be seamlessly in your training protocols. I can update, delete, add to your calendar, your nutrition, all of that good stuff. Go to www.thatguyhealth.com and start your subscription today. But today we're talking about Dexa scans. So let's get into it. So recently I went and got a Dexa scan because my prep date is going to be coming up pretty soon. I'm going to start prep in December. And before I got to that time, I wanted to go ahead and see where I sit right now. Now I know a lot of us going to the gym, we got the handheld body fat scanners, and they give you some information as well as some of the 3D composition scanners, but going to get a Dexa scan is far different than any one of those two, and you're going to get a lot more information out of that. But today what we're going to get into is the actual daily vlog of me going to the Dexa Scan Center, which was Dexa Fit Atlanta. Very awesome. Maureen was more than helpful, very informative, very kind. If you're in the Atlanta metro area, you definitely need to check her out, DexaFit.com, which is in Atlanta. So I'm not going to do too much talking right here, right now. We're going to go ahead, get into this vlog so you can see how everything went, see the Dexa scan process, hear the information, how much information will be available to you if you choose to get one. So let's just go ahead and get into it. As I said, explaining the video, today I am getting a Dexa scan. A Dexa scan is a body composition. New place, ready to see how it is. The people that I so far talked to over the phone were quite enjoyable, and they said we're gonna have some fun. So let's go. Ooh, security is a must.
Let's go. Yeah.
It's quite nice in here.
Thank you.
Oh, I like that. Got to, you can stick it onto surfaces like this and hold it up, and it depends on how much paint's on it, but sometimes it holds.
Oh, I gotcha. Yeah. Oh, like you could do that at the gym on the rack or whatever.
Exactly. So I use this.
I need one of those.
I'm telling you, Amazon.
I've been trying to where you want to move it.
No, that'll work. That'll work. Cool. So shoes over here.
Shoes on.
Got good socks on for you?
Yeah, you can put the socks on.
All right, and then feet down that way.
Feet down that way.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
This is cool. I can't wait to see it.
Me neither. I'm excited. Yep. Any extra layers you want to take off, feel free. Do you want to say something? Do we need to have an intro?
Well, sure. You want to introduce yourself?
I'm Maureen from Dexa Fit Atlanta.
I'm That Guy Health. You already know me. Came into the facility today. It's awesome. The fish tank is like by far one of the best saltwater fish tanks I've ever saw. And this person right here, she is so special. I'm probably going to be a lifetime member because I've been other places and quite frankly, it sucked. Just keeping it real. Just being honest.
we're besties now.
Already.
We're besties. All right, this is awesome. All right, Jarek, well, we got you at 19.8%. And I gave you one of these charts too. So you're right in the middle of ideal. Okay? So you're awesome. That's your total mass right there. I don't know if you want me to say that, so I'll try to keep it to
we can. I like to do 197.2 pounds is total mass.
Okay.
Definitely.
Your fat tissue is 39 pounds.
All right.
Lean tissue is 150.2. Remember, lean is everything that is not fat or bone.
Roger that.
Your bone in pounds, it's a bone mineral content. That's if we pulled all your bones out, which nobody wants me to do.
No.
But pulled them out, ground them up, and weighed them. That's what they would weigh.
Okay.
And that's actually a lot of bone. We'll talk about your bone density in 2 more pages.
All right.
This is your visceral fat. This is what we talked about, bad fat that wraps around the organs. This fat is directly correlated with metabolic and cardiovascular disease.
Okay.
So we definitely want to keep that under a pound to minimize your risk. You're way under that at 0.31 pounds. That's excellent.
Good deal.
Good job on that.
Thank you.
From about 1 to 4 pounds, I see the risk for those diseases increase exponentially. In fact, it's also related to several types of cancer and some other things. So about 3.5 pounds, I start to see manifestation of metabolic and cardiovascular disease for sure. So high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, things like that.
Okay. That's good.
This visceral fat, by the way, is something that people can get a grip on with their diet and with exercise. Okay? So that's a really good
0.3.
really good thing to know. Yeah, that's awesome. Good for you. Good for you. All right, so we're going to trend and track everything. And since you got the app, because Jarek is amazing and got the app before he came in, it's awesome.
Hint, hint, hint.
Oh, he's so efficient. I love it. We're going to track all of it, and it will be in the app too.
Okay.
So super amazing. This little guy here is your fat tissue.
All right.
This guy here is your lean and bone for your fat free. So this corresponds to this side of the chart, and this corresponds to this side of the chart. So, you know, the goal for a lot of people is to move that dot down and move that dot up, or at least keep it the same. One of the things I tell everybody who comes in here, really, the best way to get this, to change this number, and you're an expert at it, so you can tell them probably better than I can, but to do a recomp, really losing that and gaining or maintaining that is the best way to do it.
So how about we do this? Maybe 5 weeks out from show, how about I come back and get another DEXA scan, set up another appointment with you, and that way we can compare for the audience too, so they can see the difference in these numbers.
Oh yeah, that'd be great.
So we'll do that.
That'd be great.
Okay.
Yeah, I would even recommend maybe even before that.
Okay.
Coming in towards the end of the year.
All right.
So that you can see as you're making
The progress. Let's do that. So we'll set up like another 2 appointments.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
I think that's a good idea. This is just such a great way to track progress, and just, I don't want to digress too much, but a lot of people, particularly women, tend to think that losing weight is really the key. And I've had people who come into me. I had a woman who lost 10 pounds in 2 months. It was good. I mean, she did a great job. Almost every bit of it was lean tissue. So as a result of losing all muscle, her body fat percentage didn't change at all. It actually did. It ticked up a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just not the right. So what I like to think about is doing a recomp, right? Recomp your body so that you lose fat and gain lean muscle. So that's where Jarek can come in and help you do that. This is the lean mass balance in your right and left arms and legs, okay? So lean mass in our limbs is primarily muscle. We don't have organs in our limbs, so there's connective tissue and blood and all that kind of stuff, but most of it's muscle. So what this tells me is whether you're symmetrical or not, right? If there are any imbalances that could lead to injury or may have been caused by an injury, but significant imbalances will definitely cause injuries. You're almost spot on symmetrical. Like that is, you have 0.1 more pounds on your left arm and in your left leg. But that's a negligible difference. You're super symmetric.
And that is a good thing that you mentioned that, because in bodybuilding, some symmetry means a lot.
Key.
And also for people living a functional life, to have the less muscle imbalances, like Maureen said, the least chance you have of injury and form issues. So that's definitely good. But I could understand the left because I'm right hand dominant, and my symmetry this season has been trying to be on catching my left side up with my right.
Oh,
so,
well, you did.
Okay, so
yeah, you did perfect on that.
Deal.
Yeah, there's a lot. People have these big imbalances that will cause back, neck, shoulder, all kinds of injuries, and really it isn't as difficult as one would think to try to bring those back into the middle. You just have to work at it and be really conscientious about your training. All right, so here's your total body composition. Lots of numbers here. Body fat percentage, fat pounds, lean pounds, bone, and then your total mass for your arms, legs, and trunk. Right and left sides, and then the differences between the two. Okay? Lot of numbers here. Enjoy those. I want to just I want to show you.
We want to go over the highlighted areas.
Yeah, the highlighted.
And when we show you all the app on the YouTube, you'll see how much information is available when you come see Maureen at DexaFit.
Yeah, this is a great tool for getting your full body composition. These numbers here, you'll see in the differences rows. Each body part has a difference row, right?
Okay.
You'll see that the negative numbers, just want to point out, negative numbers doesn't mean that it's negative. It just means you have more on the left-hand side.
Got you. Okay, so negative will go on left just like anything else, and on the other side is zero. So typical thing right there. Got you.
So the highlight on this page that I want to talk about are these funny areas here, android and gynoid.
Okay.
What the heck is an android and gynoid?
It's not a cell phone.
No, it's not. It is not a cell phone. It's funny. It's a comedian. I like it. Android is a funny word for your midsection here, which is part of your trunk. This is generally where your visceral fat lives. Okay? So it's your belly right there. Gynoid is your hips and your butt, part of your legs. Okay? So these aren't new areas. They're just parts of the rest of your body. We pull them out to talk about, we highlight them to talk about the risk associated with having a ratio that is out of the norm. Yeah, okay. Yeah, whatever it should be, which is 1. And we'll talk about that here. So really, it's a waist to hip ratio. You've heard of this, right? That using circumference measurements, people have been doing that for years to associate risk to that ratio. We have your actual body fat percentages in your android region and your gynoid region. We want that ratio of body fat, AG ratio here, to be under 1. Ideally. Okay. So you're under 1. So you're
ideal situation.
All right. So it's very much correlated to the visceral fat too, because visceral fat is fat that you can't pinch, right? It's deep in there. It's hard. It creates sort of a protruding belly, right? You've seen the sort of big,
hard bellies.
That is visceral fat, so that will tend to increase that ratio.
Roger that.
All right, but you're in at least the health metrics are excellent here, so perfect. All right, so this is your bone density. A couple caveats here.
All right.
Okay, so the first thing is you're past the age of maximal bone density building, which is about 30. So for your clients who are under 30, put more into that bone density building bank.
Good deal.
Because the more you build your bone density up until you're 30, the less you have to worry about it as you get over 30, right? And this is our infrastructure. This is our this is
the foundation.
Exactly.
What has us standing upright and not being like Mr. Glass. Got you. That's what she's good too.
This is a bone density screen, right? Because this is a full body scan. If I did a bone density scan specifically on you, I'd do it at your femurs and at your spine. These are higher areas of concern. So because this is a screen, the T-score that we get is a little bit elevated, okay? Because we have some, like your head's super dense, and there's some super dense areas in here that we don't normally scan for. Yes, exactly. But this T-score for you, this is an amazing number, by the way. Let me explain.
Okay.
Your T-score is 3.9. Okay, let me explain where that is. See how far up you are on that chart right there?
That's my tick right there.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's him right there. 1 down to -1 is normal.
Oh. Okay.
-1 and below that is osteopenia. -2.5 and below that is osteoporosis. So if 1 to -1 is normal, you're way outside of the normal range, like on the high end. So you have very dense bones.
Roger that.
And that is outstanding. That's a really good number. Very, very good bone density. So the way we maintain it is weight-bearing exercise, like your boot camps. That's amazing for weight-bearing exercise. Leafy green vegetables and vitamin D. Those are the
That's
key.
the raw spinach every morning.
Every
morning,
I
the raw
do the same
spinach.
thing in my
Oh,
shake.
that's right. See? So listen, Maureen was totally awesome. Dexa Fit was totally awesome. The experience was totally awesome. If you are in the Atlanta metro area, surrounding Atlanta areas, coming into Atlanta for a trip and not even staying here, you still need to come to Dexa Fit. Get you a 3D scan, or better yet, a Dexa scan, which is going to give you far more information into your body so you can make better changes. But listen, we got a lot of stuff to cover in just this video, so I'm going to chop it up into 3 other videos that we're going to post to cover not only my Dexa scan information, but also the difference between a 3D composition scan and a Dexa scan, because some of you all are getting scammed on the 3D scans, and it's actually just approximation. It's not into your body, so there's a big difference there. And another thing that we'll go over is just overall a review on Maureen and Dexa Fit as a whole of a company. So we're going to break this one into 3 different videos because there's a lot of information, and if I put it all in one video, this video would probably be an hour or longer, because the Dexa scan itself has a lot of information. So this video right here that we are in is already going to be like 30 minutes maybe. So let's go. All right, so that was the process. As you can see, Maureen is an awesome person. The facility is very nice, very up to date as far as the technology is concerned, and I learned a lot about myself. I'm gonna have to be honest here and say that I'm about 2% more than I wanted to be, or what I had hoped to be, all right, in my build season. I don't call it off season because I'm not off. I'm working to get bigger, so I'm building. It's just not the show season. So with that being said, my visceral fat was really good at 0.3. My body fat being at 20% was a little bit higher than I'd like, okay, but my body composition being 150 so pounds of lean, 39 pounds of fat, I really didn't know how to kind of take that. Although I used the visual eye test, I can still see definition in my muscle, especially in my abdominal area, even more when I do flex. I see definition building in my delts as they cap out, my traps, my back, and my chest. So I don't know if I should be so alarmed about that, but it did definitely let me know that I probably want to start prep a little sooner than I had anticipated. Earlier, you heard me say December, and before I was going to go ahead and start a little later than that, going into like January, but now I had moved it up to December to give myself roughly about a 20-week prep. I've already started coming down as far as my weight is concerned, adjusting and get a little bit more strict on my nutrition. Of course, in the build season, you can be a little bit more liberal because your calories are up. Although you can't go crazy all the time eating garbage, you do have the ability to go ahead and have some ice cream every now and then, some cake, cookies, popcorn, a little bit more than so. But as things are getting closer to December, I'm starting to get not only my mind ready, but my body ready to go into the strict nutrition that I will have and very seldomly ever deviate from until post show. So I'm going to go ahead and start in December. I'm going to adjust my workout protocol, adjust my nutrition, get all of that stuff set up, and start climbing my way down and bringing this plane down to land. And hopefully we go into this coming up season, which will be in New Jersey for the Pro-Am show, and I can knock it out. As you see here, I did good in my last season, also did good at the Pro show. I plan to add to these, as well as if I have to put these somewhere else and put the new ones in. I do plan on doing 2 new shows in 2 new locations. I definitely don't want my league to feel like they can be comfortable in their backyard. You do get some of those sharks where they'll stay in their normal area, their local area. They won't compete anywhere else. I went to 2 different states last season and won in 2 different states on 2 different stages. And this season, I plan to do the same thing, starting off with New Jersey. And I will add another locale to that in that same season, which will be totally somewhere else, just to make my presence known in my league and to show people how serious I take this, and that possibly I'm a competitor that belongs on more acclimated stages such as NPC or other stages like that in a natural realm. And that's been a little bit of a tussle. I'm not gonna lie to you all. I try to be as transparent as possible in this health and fitness game. I have struggled with the how do I want to say it? I have struggled with the decision or thinking of using other additives to enhance my growth. I have not yet. I don't plan to, but I can't sit here and lie and say that it hasn't crossed my mind at times when I look and say, I wish I could get bigger here. I know I could get bigger here. It might take me another year, and I'm wanting to take that short road. And anybody that is competitive, if they don't, if they're not honest about that, there's something wrong there, because it's just a fact. I'm in the car, so if you go to the track, you're gonna see guys with nitrous, you're gonna see guys with pro chargers, you're gonna see guys with turbos, you're gonna see guys with all types of power adders, and then you'll see those guys that are running all motor. It's just a different caliber. It's a different way it goes down the track. And in that same fashion is in bodybuilding. When you step on that stage, it's a very highly competitive situation. And if you cross over to other leagues where it's not so natural anymore, you're in a realm that you put yourself to also want to compete at that level and perhaps take up some of those power adders. I don't plan to. I think I'm pretty safe right now. I've been pretty true and honest to myself, especially when it comes to the health benefits or health damages that could take place by doing that. I don't think it's worth it for me to do. You have to decide what you're going to do. But I digress from the Dexa scan just to share a little bit more with you all about what's going on during this whole time of prepping. So yes, the Dexa scan is definitely worth it. I am going to have another probably 2 episodes that will be in this genre, because there's so much information that needs to be shared with the Dexa scan and the 3D body compositions that it can't be covered all here. As you see, we've already toppled over probably 15 minutes in this episode alone. If I added those other things in here, we'd be an hour or so, and that's just too long. All right, I don't like to run it too long. So listen, if you haven't subscribed, you need to subscribe. If you haven't liked, you need to click like. Definitely comment below in the comment section so we can all learn from each other. If some of you have already had DEXA scans or body scans, share your experience with me. Share your locations in the comment section, because other people might be in your area and don't know a nice place or a very good place to go. So as I always say, and I have these allergies, the weather's changing, I don't have a cold, so you won't get sick. As I always say, be safe, let's build together, and peace.